guys, I am back again with another video. And in today's video, I am going to discuss about the essentials of Python list. So I have tried my best to keep this video very concise and to the point. And by covering theory and all the practical aspects of this list in Python, I am going to make sure that you can easily work in Python list after watching this tutorial easily. Okay, so let's start with the theory first. So I have written some of the main characteristics of the list. These are like lists are heterogeneous in nature. So what we meant by the heterogeneous in nature is that Python list can contain the data of different data type, which is not the case in arrays. So we call it heterogeneous. That means it can contain different types of data types. Okay. The second property is lists are ordered. That means you can arrange the list elements into ascending or descending orders. Even alphabets can be arranged in ascending or descending order according to their ASCII values. Third property is list elements can be accessed by the index. So when we store any element in the list, each and element gets associated with an unique element index. And with that index, with the help of that index, we can easily access that element. We will see these things practically. So let me first cover this theory fast. The next point is list can be nested. That means list can contain another list inside. So how we create this, we will see this. Mutable. That means the size of list plus the data of the list can be changed. And the last property is lists are dynamic in nature. That means the memory allocation of the list is not continuous or static. So let's start by seeing the very first property, that is lists are heterogeneous in nature. So let's create a list, let's say with a variable name L1, and we start with square brackets, and inside these square brackets we keep the elements. So let's say 1 comma a alphabetic value, that is a, and a bool value, that is true. So as you can see, I have kept three different types of data type in a list, and this works fine. Let me print this L1. Okay, so yes. Next thing is lists are ordered. So before this, let's see the creation, how we can create a list. So as I told you earlier, that we declare a variable. We don't need to declare any type of data type here, as lists are heterogeneous in nature. And enclosed by the square brackets, we keep the values separated by the comma. And data types can be mixed or of a constant data type or of a constant type. So here I've already written some of the list codes, and I've created a list L1 which contains only integer type of data type. In the second list, you can keep a single element or a collection of elements separated by the comma. And I have lastly created a list 3 that contains data of all four types, that is string, integer, boolean, and a float data type. Okay. So here you can see, as told you, that lists are ordered. So as I have a list L1 of, as I have a list containing values like 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 1, and as you can see, this is not arranged. So we can use an inbuilt function of list, that is sort function, which basically sort our list, that means arranges it in a ascending order. So after using sort function and after printing the list, you can see the result as these elements are arranged in ascending order. And as I told you that the sort function also works on an alphabetic value, as it arranges the alphabets according to their ASCII values. So here I have a B, A and C elements in a L2 list, and after using the sort function, you can see we have a result as A, B, C. Okay. So So coming toward the next property, that is every element of a list have a unique index. So what I mean by this is, here in this list, let's say 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is going to be associated with a unique index that is 0, and 2 with 1 respectively, 3 with 2, and 4 with 3. So likewise 0, 1, 2, and 3. And you can use 0 to access this first element, 1 to access this second element, 2 to access this third element, and last with the help of its index that is 3. Similarly, we have a backward indexing too, that is the last element of list is going to be indexed as -1, and the next element, that is the last second element, with -2, and likewise 2 with -3, and 1 with -4. So as I print this L1 of index 0, it will return me the very first element that is 1. Let me run this again. Okay, wait. So yeah, we have a list L1 with 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I access it with 0, so it returns me the very first element. And similarly with the backward indexing, if I run L1 of -1, it will return me the last element. And similarly, if I want to access the second element, I can use for the by the forward indexing, I can use it as a L1 of first, L1 of 1, that is the first second element of L1 list. And with the backward indexing, how can I access this second element, that is 2? So 4 is associated with -1, 3 with -2, and 2 with -3. So simply I am going to write it as L1 -3. So yeah, same result. Okay. So coming toward the next property, that is to access the elements from a list, we have a method called slicing. As slicing itself says that taking a slice from a big piece. So we have a list, let's say, of n elements, and we want to extract n minus 1 elements in a specific order or a sequence. So we uses this slicing. Let's see how it works. Let me print this L1 again. Okay, so let's say I want to access 1 and 2, these two elements. So what I will do is I will write L1, and here I will write first the start index. So as I told you that I want 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So the 1 is going to be our, so 1 is our start value, and index of 1 is 0. Similarly, our end value is 2, and index of 2 is 1. So we want to go from 0 index to first index. So how it works is, first we mention the start index, that is 0, that is start, and 1 plus of the end index. That means if we want to go till 2, then we need to mention the end index plus 1. That is, if we want to go for first index, we have to mention 2 here, like this. And if I'm going to print this, see, so it will go like 0 and 1. So it will cover 0th index, first index, but it is not going to cover the element of index 2. Likewise, if I want to access 1, 2, and 3, what I will do is start with 0, and with, as here I want 1, 2, and 3. So the index of 3 is 0, 1, 2. So we will run it till 3. That is plus 1 of end index. So likewise. But what if I want only first element and second element? That means I want to access the elements in a step order of 2. So what I will do is I will mention L1, start index that is 0, end index that is 3, and step order that is 2. So yeah, like this. You can do similar things with the backward indexing too. I'm going to leave this for you to experiment the same things with the backward indexing. And coming toward the next topic, that is list can be nested. That means list can contain another list. So let me show you how this thing work. LST5, let's say, and a list of list, that is 1 comma 2, 4 comma 5. Let me indent it beautifully. Okay, so it is a two-dimensional list, that is a list inside a list with the dimension 2. What I can do is, if I want to access this element, think it in such a way that list LST5 is a big list and it have a two list separated by comma. That means this first list is associated with index 0 and this second list is associated with index 1. So if I want to access this first list, so what I have to write is LST5 and with index 0. It is going to return me this list. But what if I want to access the zeroth element of this list? That means list of zeroth index have a element at zeroth index, that is 1. So how will I write this? So I will write it simply LST5 and with index 0. So what it will return me? 1 and 2. And now I want to access the another element, that is zeroth element of this list. So again square brackets and mention the index, that is 0. So yeah, like this. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the inbuilt functions which are going to be very helpful for you while working in a list. So the very first thing is append function. Like we have a list, let's say this LST6 with these three elements, and I want to append another element 4. So what I will do is LST6 dot append, and in this small brackets I will pass the element that have to be appended, like this. And let's print this list. So yeah, you can see that this element is appended. And what if you want to delete an element from this list? So lst6 dot pop, sorry, lst6. Yeah. So what pop function do is it actually pops the very last element from the list, and we again have the same list, that is 1, 2 and 3. If you mention any index inside this pop function, it will remove that element of that index. Let's say you want to remove this 2 from here, so the index of this 2 is 1. So what you have to do is lst6 dot pop 1. So what it will do is it will pop this element from here. Another very important function is insert function. Let's say you want to insert a element inside this list element in between. So let's say we have a list of this 1, 2 and 3, and I want to insert 2.5 between this 2 and 3. That means at the index 3. So what I will do is lst6 dot insert and the index 3 and the element that is 2.5 lst6. So as you can see, 0 1 2. Okay, sorry, it was 2. So as you can see that it will insert an element at the index 2, and it will automatically shift the element which was already present at the element 2. And what if you want to just simply update this element, that is 2.5 to 2.9? So the index of this element is 0, 1 and 2. So we will simply access this index. So we will simply access this element with the help of index, and we will assign a new value, that is lst6, and the index that is 0, 1 and 2, and we will assign the new value that is 2.9. Simply print this lst6. So yeah, as you can see that this element have been successfully updated. And the last thing we have to cover is deletion. We covered creation, in which we covered slicing. We also covered nested list and updating a list. So we are only left with how to delete the element. We actually also covered this thing, that is with the help of pop function, but let's see with the delete function too. Delete lst6 and the element 2. Let's print this list. So yeah, like this. So that's all from our today's session. And what you can do is you can simply go to Geeks for Geeks or any website to read more about the list functions. List inbuilt. Yeah. Here you can see the number of functions that you can use in list, and you don't have to remember all these functions, because whenever you need them you can simply search it and you have all the results. But I have covered most of the important functions that you are going to need, that is insert, pop and append. So yeah, so that's all from our today's session. Thank you, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you really find this video helpful. Thank you.